famously unfamous. Famously unfamous. What is famously unfamous? You ever ask somebody, what legacy do you want to leave on this earth after you're gone? Do you just want to merely exist, or do you really want to make an influence and an impact on the communities that you serve? So that, in turn, is what makes you famously unfamous. You're not specifically entertained with the idea of being just famous, but you're intentional about making an impact in the communities that you serve, thereby leaving a legacy that will ultimately create fame for you. Famously unfamous. That's who we talk to on this show. Famously unfamous. Become a person of influence more than you want to become a person of fame. That's it. Yo, what's going on, good people? This is That Man Channing. And I'm so excited that you guys are listening to this podcast. This is a special one by far. I had the pleasure of sitting down in conversation with Mr. Kirk Brown. If you don't know who Mr. Kirk Brown is, he is the head developer of the Ron Clark Academy. Yes, the world-renowned Ron Clark Academy. He also is a founding member of the Emerging 100 of Atlanta. It is an institution and a program that empowers young African-American seniors to get into diverse colleges around the country. He is also a recent award recipient of the Georgia State University Alumni Association, actually 40 under 40, which is a elite club in the city of Atlanta. His list of accomplishments go on and on and on, but I just want you guys to listen in as we talk to Mr. Kirk Brown about his purpose and his position of influence on today's show. Check it out. What's going on, guys? Welcome to another edition of Famously Unfamous. I am That Man Channing. I have a special guest with me on this show. So I have a new friend that I've met here. His name is Kirk Brown. If you don't know Kirk Brown is the head of development at the world-renowned Ron Clark Academy right here in Atlanta, Georgia. And
yes, sir.
Absolutely. And he's also the founder of Emerging 100 of Atlanta. It is a nonprofit organization that helps rising seniors develop and get into key colleges in the African-American community. And he's going to be talking to us about the culture, his upbringing, and how he got to the position of influence that he's currently in at this point of his life. So, ladies and gentlemen, Kirk Brown. What's going on, man?
What's up, man? Appreciate you having me on.
Absolutely, man. It is my pleasure. I'm grateful that you took the opportunity. I do know that you're a busy man, so I was glad to have you on, man.
I appreciate the opportunity to share and break bread, if you will.
Absolutely. So, what many of you guys don't know is if you don't follow him on social media, he is fresh off a trip from Punta Cana, DR. So he's real relaxed right now. Real relaxed. So, if you ever get a chance to go down to Punta Cana in the Dominican Republic, please do. Change your life. It will change your life. I was down there for a wedding, so we got to go down there and just hang out for a little bit and support and celebrate one of our young fraternity brothers who's just married his beautiful wife. So yeah, we had a good time. Back to reality now, though. Cool. I love it. I love hearing that. So, man, how you been? How's everything going?
Man, everything is great. I can't complain at all. I wish I could get more sleep every now and again, but there's so much to get done. So hey, you get as many hours as you can, and you get back up and get right to it. But I can't complain at all. My family's good, my wife is good, job is good, my health is good. So I really have no complaints.
There you go. That's what I like to hear.
What more can you ask for?
Absolutely, man. Absolutely. So.
Yeah.
Just right off the bat, man, what jumps out is people are like now understanding what Ron Clark Academy is, what it's about, and what you guys do. So for those who don't know, share with us a little bit about your unique style and approach to education.
Okay, so for those who don't know about RCA, or the Ron Clark Academy, we're a private middle school here in Atlanta, Georgia. You probably have seen our videos on social media. Those tend to pick up a lot of traction all the time, where our kids just really having a good time in class, really, celebrating and being excited about academics and learning. The most recent one was probably when our kids were surprised that they were going to see the Black Panther, and little Jacob was in the chair moving his legs, going crazy, and everybody was just going crazy. The whole school, just was erupting in excitement. And so that video went everywhere, on the Shade Room, on Bleacher Report, House of Highlights, everywhere. It got millions of views. So that's just a snippet of who we are. I mean, we're a private middle school where we use engaging strategies to really reach our kids. High expectations for the kids, so we don't play around with academics. Like, it's extremely, extremely hard. But we have a great time. So our kids are dancing, they're playing music, they're being, taken through experiences in the text, through room transformations, and they're excited to learn. Kids are literally running to school like, yo, I wonder what's about to happen today at school, And so although it's hard, they're super excited because they know they're going to have a good time. So we do that with our students, but then also we train teachers. You know what I'm saying? So education, what we found is that a lot of schools are so boring. Kids are literally bored out of their minds, dude. Sitting there, you remember you were in school like, oh my God, I can't wait till lunch. Like, why am I sitting here? The teacher's boring. I just got a worksheet. And so we don't want schools to be like that.
Right.
And so what we have said is we're going to show teachers what we do so they can go and share at their schools as well. So we are an educator training facility, man, and we train 50,000 educators since 2007 when we opened. So about 13,000 educators a year come through our doors, watch what we do, observe, ask questions, and literally take everything they see back to their school and implement it, and they're finding success. So I get the easy job of spreading the message out in the community, out in the world, and really asking folks to invest in the students and invest in the educator training program. So that's what I do as a head of development, community relations, fundraising, bringing donors, sponsors, community partners to the table to continue the mission.
Wow. There you go.
That was a mouthful.
Absolutely, it was. But hey, Ron Clark Academy it's all encompassing. It's where everyone wants to be at. So I can understand. That's like that's definitely a type of environment that kids love to grow in, and it's almost like getting distracted while you're getting a shot. Like, you need the shot, but you're distracted with the entertainment, but you're also learning at the same time. But it's opening you up to very different experiences instead of the same cut and dry mold every week. So yeah, I get it. I had to survive under that. You had to survive under that. But this different approach, obviously, it has taken the world on by storm since you guys have been out. So what?
It's a great opportunity for sure. And the school gets a lot of exposure and media attention for what we do, and we're grateful for that. But there's always more work to be done. Absolutely.
Yeah. So, moving forward from here, what is the next step? Are you guys, if you can answer this, are you guys interested in going to the next level with high school, or are you guys in the sweet spot right now where I believe I may be wrong, but I read a report where it talked about how middle school is like that sweet spot between elementary and high school where you can get the most out of a kid before they transition on. So is that the reasoning behind just having middle school?
Yeah, for sure. Well, Ron Clark and Kim Barron, they're the co-founders of the school. They both have middle school backgrounds, and they also saw that test scores sort of increase for females and for white males as well up until middle school, and then they started to drop off. And so they really wanted to study middle school to figure out exactly why is this happening, and also to show that middle schools can have success and can be great. They've like literally traveled around the world and around the country, and they saw tons of great elementary schools, and they saw tons of great high schools. Didn't really see a lot of great middle schools. And so they wanted to show that, they wanted to see and study middle school, why aren't middle schools being great? And we can show an example how middle schools can be great, and how it also, the methods that we have at our school can translate no matter where you are on the spectrum, K through 12 and even post-secondary. So, but to your question, man, about expansion, so no. We'll always, straight up, no other schools. People ask that all the time, like, hey, you gonna have another RCA around the country? No, that's not in our vision for the school. We'll always have one school, and we will potentially expand. We'll never expand into high school, though. So we'll always be a middle school. We'll probably go down. Like this year, we are adding fourth graders to our school. So currently we're 5th through 8th grade.
Okay.
And so now we're going to be adding all fourth graders next year. And so that's something new in terms of expansion for us. And then we're also going to grow our educator training program so that we can train even more teachers. Because literally, when I tell you, teachers are like busting at the seams trying to come to RCA to get trained, and we can't accommodate the number of teachers who want to come and get trained. It's literally, astronomical, the number of teachers who call us and say, hey, it's sold out, like, can I please get in? And we literally can't let you in because fire code reasons. It's not, we can't let not another soul in the building. And so we don't want to do that. We want to provide an opportunity so that we can reach as many teachers as possible. So this past year in November, we actually hosted an event, a 10-year anniversary event. Oprah Winfrey came and hosted it for us, which was super dope, a great experience. And so that night we also announced our capital campaign. And so we're raising about $19 million to build a new facility so we can train even more educators. And so that night Oprah actually... Yeah. So it's going to be a great time. But that night, Oprah announced that she's going to give us $5 million. So everyone flipped out. It was cool. So she gave like our first big gift to sort of get our campaign going. So we're super grateful for her doing that for us, man. Because it was literally it was the largest gift in the school's history, and a gift totally unexpected. We did not think that she was going to do that.
Hey, when Auntie O comes in the building, good things happen. Good things happen. But
good things happen, man. Yeah. So that was definitely a blessing for sure.
That's what's up. I love hearing that. Good things happening there at the Ron Clark Academy. I love what you guys are doing and how you've inspired many kids throughout the course of the last decade, really, and inspiring them to be the best they can be. And obviously that translates in every kid you touch. That's hundreds of kids touched because of their influence. They go out and share their influence with others. So super dope. I love the teacher aspect where you may not be able to change every school. Every school may not be able to fit the mold, but that teacher in that classroom represents a presence, an extension, if you will, of the Ron Clark Academy. So, hey,
exactly.
There you go. You're literally, you may not be expanding physically, but you are expanding, basically.
Yeah, no, literally are. And we've done the math, too, because we think about all the teachers that have come to RCA to get trained and the number of students that they teach, because we get all that data and we track it, and the number of students. Like, we know that this given moment, whenever school's in session, there are literally 1 million kids or more sitting in classes where the teacher at the front of the room who's teaching them has been to RCA for training.
Wow.
And so that's the exponential impact that we're having just through our training program. So you're right. Like we can't have other schools, and we won't have other schools, and that's not our plan. We want to affect the lives of as many students as possible through their teachers.
Right.
So
absolutely. Yeah. I like it. So now that we have the professional career out the way, how did Kirk Brown get to where he's at currently?
Oh my God.
tell us a little bit about your background, your influences, what motivates you, things like that.
Man, so originally from the Bronx, New York, man, that's where I grew up. Then my family moved to Georgia, so I went to high school in Georgia, and then I went to college at Georgia State.
Okay.
Best experience ever, man. I had an incredible time. I would never trade it for anything. Like, it's probably the best 4 years of, my young adult life.
Gotcha.
I mean, Georgia State was life changing and set me up nicely to kind of be in the position I am today. I tell people all the time, like, Georgia State was my training ground, and literally because I did so much on Georgia State's campus, like, I was in this organization and that organization. I pledged Alpha. I was in 1913 Society, which is like a presidential ambassador organization. So I did a lot on campus and was able to build a lot of relationships and partnerships with people. And so that sort of just continued post-school, post-college, and really propelled into my young professional life, after school. And that kind of led me to fundraise starting at United Way, which was my first job out of school, through a relationship. One of my fraternity brothers actually was interning there. RJ, Russell Jackson, he was interning there, and they had a loan executive program, which is pretty much where you come in and you get like a portfolio of accounts, and you're raising funds for the organization, for United Way, for about 14 weeks. So I did that, killed it.
Right, right, of course.
And I liked it, had a good time with it, and they were like, hey, position is about to open up full time, like, I think you'd be great for it. So I applied for it, and that's kind of where I started. So I did 5 years there, and then another opportunity opened up at RCA, where a friend of mine, again, talking about relationships, a friend of mine who I built with at United Way, she was fundraising at RCA, and she was leaving, and she said, Kirk, I think you'll be great for this opportunity. Ron and Kim, have asked me to help fill the position, and I think that you would be perfect over here. Come and check it out, and see, and then go from there. Bruh, I came over, and you got to come get a tour too. Like, it's, once you walk through it, you're going to be like, where am I? This place is unlike any place I've ever been. And so that's the feeling I had, man. I walked through the doors, and I was like, where am I? This place is crazy. So I didn't even speak to anybody yet, except for the office manager, Ms. Burns. Other than that, there were no kids there. It was on the summer. I walked in, and I was immediately sold. I was like, yo, I could do this. This place is amazing. Like, I want to learn more. I'm already sold. Like, tell me what I got to do.
Wow.
Yeah. And so I had the conversations and the interview, which was great, and a couple more interviews, and then they offered me the position. And so here I am now, 5 years later, loving it, feeling like it's day one, like it's, like year one. It's a ride. It's exciting. It's fun. You get to impact the lives of students and really take the school to the next level. So it's better than anything I've, could have ever imagined. So, yeah. Man,
that's so dope. I like the fact that you get up every day enjoying what you do. And oftentimes, I've said it before, if you're not enjoying what you're doing, then there are a lot of, to me personally, I always have 5 questions here. Who am I? What am I here for? What am I good at? And what am I good at? And what gifts do I have? So for me, once you start going through that list, it kind of automatically navigates you to, your strengths. And to me, I think that you should concentrate on your strengths, personally, in my opinion. And obviously, you need to staff your weaknesses. So in that case, how is what you bring to the table applicable to what you do now?
Yeah, well, I got, I've always enjoyed talking to people, building relationships, and getting other folks to sort of buy into whatever it is. So if it's a cause or, if it's something I'm selling, and so this was the perfect opportunity to do that, man, to get behind something that I'm passionate about. Always love education.
Gotcha.
And you talk about education and innovation, like this is something, exciting beyond belief. And education. And so I want to get everybody to get as excited about RCA as I am. So yeah, sign me up, put me in a place to do it. I'm going to build a relationship and get them to understand, you know, the value add and why the organization is so important and how they can get involved. And so, yeah, I think it's a perfect marriage, because if you like talking to people, you like building relationships, you're not afraid to ask for money, and you're passionate about a cause, you just merge all that together, and boom, you know, it's working in development in RCA.
There you go. There you go.
So, you know, you talk about doing things that you love and what you're passionate about, what you're good at. Definitely this position and, you know, this role encompasses all of that.
Got you. So,
you know what I mean?
I definitely understand. It's like, hey, look, you don't have to. Some things are right in front of you, and you go for it. And some things you don't find out until you actually get in that role how much you enjoy it and how it was right for you. But in any event, you don't figure that out until you really identify what you bring to the table. If not, you're just going to keep spinning your wheels and going around in circles. But in this situation here, where you're at, you build relationships, you love networking. So for the young professionals out there who may have recently graduated from college, or you know they might not be in the job that they want right now or the position that they want right now, from your experience, how important is building relationships and networking? First part. Second part, from the wealth of experience that you have speaking with donors, potential people to buy into you in the organization, what are the do's and don'ts of networking and building relationships?
Oh, man. Let's see. Well, I think first, to answer your first question, relationships are definitely key to networking and to getting where you want, you know, in life. I think if I hadn't built those relationships in college and even at United Way, my first, you know, job, then I wouldn't be where I am right now. And so it's not just saying or grabbing somebody's card and saying, yeah, we know each other, or, you know, they're my friend, but it's, have you really built a connection? Have you really taken the time to get to know each other? Not just you get to know them, but y'all really get to know each other and build a meaningful relationship, like whether it's through coffee or lunch or happy hour, whatever it is. Have you taken that opportunity or really made the effort to get to know people? And I think that's what's really key. A lot of people miss the mark. They'll go to like events and things and get cards and like, oh yeah, I know that person, but do they really know you?
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right.
Have you really taken that next step? And so I think that's one thing that we could do a better job of, is following up with people and trying to make an effort to really get to know people in a genuine way. Got you.
Yeah. So, second part of that question: what are the I'm just going to name this the Kirkisms, the do's and the don'ts of networking, or how can you leave a better impression for yourself and for the organization that you're representing, or you potentially landing that quote unquote great job, great position, or connection?
Yeah. I think a don't, we'll start with that, is assume that people are ignoring you. So if you reach out one time and you don't hear a response, just kind of be like, forget it, and then there goes relationship down the drain. I think you should always assume good intent, and that people, you know, may have received your message but have been able to get to it at that moment. So don't be afraid to follow up. And so I think if you're persistent in following up, and not in a an annoying way, but
right,
definitely following up, like, I know you're super busy, not saying, hey, did you get my last message? I sent it to you, like, follow up, like, what's going on? But no, like, understanding and really putting it out there that I know you're super busy and I appreciate just 15 minutes of your time just to kind of come over, have coffee or whatever it is. And I think that goes a long way in terms of trying to make those connections sometimes, because just like being humble and realizing that, hey, I would love to get to know you. Maybe perhaps you can be my mentor, but I'll clear my schedule. I know you're busy. How can we make this work? and being persistent.
Gotcha.
So I would definitely say that that's one thing, but a lot of people will probably reach out one time. I know I did early on. Reach out one time, they didn't hear me back, and you're like, oh, well, I guess they didn't want to, they weren't serious. But you'd be surprised if you just follow up 2 or 3 times and not back to back to back, but a second or a third time, that you'll eventually get that meeting. And even in my profession now, I'm the same way. Reaching out to folks who could be potential givers, and I reach out and I don't hear anything back. Well, I'm going to give you some time, and I'm going to follow up again. No response back. Okay, cool. No worries at all. You're just busy right now. I got you. I'm going to give you a second. Follow up again. Boom. Assistant reaches out. The meeting is scheduled. So just a little persistence will take you a long way.
That is a key point. You're never getting anything in life by just cracking at it one time. It's the person who's just slow and steady, and methodical and consistent. That's the person that eventually wins. So
exactly. You got to keep pounding the pressure, and eventually you get the diamond.
There you go. That is a Kirkism. That's what I'm calling a Kirkism right there. So let's bring the light here. So you went to GSU, read in your bio where you were 40 under 40. In GSU, you go from there. You were at United Way. You got the meeting, Ron Clark Academy. You realized that was the place for me. So at this point, where does Emerge 100 of Atlanta come in? How does that fall into place? How did that get started? And how did you see a need for that?
Man, yeah. So that's a great question, because when in college, or after I graduated college, I joined the Collegiate 100, which is the college organization that's connected to the 100 Black Men of Atlanta. And so I was involved there, and we were having conversations like, hey, we really could use a young professional group to. I was talking about pipeline mentoring. So you have the 100 Black Men of Atlanta who are typically older guys who are successful in their career. Like you have CEOs and former American Team Reed's a member. And so you have these high-level folks, and then you have the Collegiate 100. So there was really no in-between.
Gotcha.
And so we're having conversations like, in order to really do this pipeline mentoring, mentorship correctly, we need to create a young professional organization. And so that's what we did. We 10 of us got together and sort of laid the foundation and the structure for what it would be. We saw a need and we filled it. And so now we are, those early years, I think about it, it was a struggle, man. You're trying to build something from the ground up, and you have so many aspirations, and there's, it's just a lot of growing pains. But now to see where the organization is now, like one of the top organizations for young professionals in this city, and I would even venture to say the country.
Right.
It's a blessing to see how far we've come in the work that we're doing, mentoring those students at Best Academy High School and providing them with the skills and tools to be successful and to, graduate high school and be successful in college, man. So it's definitely a blessing for sure to see the growth of the org.
Got you. And in that same context, what has mentorship done for you, and how can a person succeed without mentorship? Yeah,
I think it's hard. But mentorship has been crucial for me, and I've had different types of people to mentor me. So it could be a peer mentor, or someone in my field that's a mentor, or someone that's just a life mentor that I go to for life advice. And so I think mentorship is key, because we don't have all the answers. Right. And why make mistakes if someone already has made mistakes or learned from them, and you can use their mistakes and not make them, and really be a couple steps ahead of the game.
Right.
And so I think mentorship is key, that a lot of us should definitely utilize more and utilize it in a meaningful way to build those relationships, and have somebody that you can call to, like, hey man, what would you do about this? Or for me in my job, I'm like, okay, I'm doing this campaign, I want to ask for this much, but do you think that's a good number? Like, in your experience, would you ask for that, or how should I frame this? And so someone that you can use as a sounding board to go to for life advice, professional advice, whatever it is. Mentors are key.
Gotcha. Yeah. And I like what you said there. Different types of mentors.
Right.
Because not one person has all the answers.
Right.
The person who may mentor you on how to live a better, healthy life may not know anything about finances. The person that knows about finances may not know about, family and marriage and the work-life balance.
Right.
So
Exactly.
you need those. You need a good diversity of people who have that wisdom, who are killing the game in that field. So that's definitely important.
And then you also got mentors who don't even know that you're their mentee. Like, you got people that you just look up to from afar, and you watch their interviews, you read their books, and you're like, this is my mentor right here. They don't know me, but they're mentoring me right now.
Right,
You know what I'm saying?
exactly.
So they're a mentor as well.
Exactly. I've definitely had that. I still have that.
Exactly.
If I ever get the chance to meet John Maxwell, it's like, hey, bro,
Right.
I've read so many of your books.
Exactly. Like, you're my mentor. Like,
Right.
you mentored my life.
Right.
I appreciate you, brother.
Exactly. And there's no shame in that, but it's only going to help you grow, get better, and keep it going for the next generation. But you're definitely a busy man. So how do you balance work, life, marriage? How do you balance that, and how do you basically frame that for those up and coming, aspiring young professionals?
Yeah, I think it's. I'm still figuring that out, honestly. I don't think I have the magic key or the answer to that just yet. That's still something I think about and continue and working on, because there's, I'm involved in a lot, from being on the board of my fraternity, Emerging 100, Harvard Debate Council, Diversity Project. So I'm doing all these things, and I also have a family. So how do you fit them all in there? And I think it's, as I'm figuring it out, I'm learning that some things you just got to say no to. So I may not be able to make it to every board meeting, but I can still contribute in other ways. Or I may not make it to this event, but I can, promote it and get people to come and support the event. So trying to, be creative in the ways that I still be actively involved and engaged, but also still making time for the things that are important, like my marriage and my wife and my family. So I'm still figuring it out, man. I don't have the answers. I wish I knew the best way, but I think I'm getting better at it each day, and making conscious decisions to sometimes say no to things,
right?
So that I have time to make, have time to really do what's really important.
Gotcha. And essentially, as we wrap this up, what project can we look out for from you? What can we expect up and coming that includes you and things like that?
So up and coming. So I started being involved with an organization called Dream of Humanity, and so that's a new organization, grassroots, working with students to really change the trajectory of their lives through entrepreneurship. And so it's a grassroots organization. There's going to be a gala in February that I'm really involved with, and helping the executive director and founder really make those partnerships and programming, and just kind of thinking through how to get the organization up. So that's been a lot of fun. Presenting at a conference this summer in a couple of weeks called Plywood Presents, which is like a super cool conference for innovators, like creatives, in whatever profession. And so I'm doing a master class on creative fundraising. So that's going to be super exciting. So people can come and learn how to get some money for their organization or their cause. So that'll be really cool. And there's other things in media as well. I've always had hopes and dreams to dabble in the media industry. So some things may be coming out from there as well. So whether it's more voiceover work or events or podcasting or vlogs, whatever it is, I'm kind of looking at those opportunities as well to tap into passion projects.
There you go. I like it. Yeah. I like it. Hey,
look out for that.
You are a man with a vision, and you are a man with goals, and I like to hear that. Just bring that life, and just to getting the most out of life while you can, and also inspiring other people while you're on the journey as well. That's definitely what it's about, and that's definitely what I love to hear as well. Listen, everyone, be on the lookout for Kirk Brown. If you don't follow him on social media, please do. We'll have the information on this podcast in our bio. And definitely, he is up and coming, and he is definitely changing lives. And like I say at the end of every podcast, Famously Unfamous is centered around those people who are doing impactful, famous work in their community that you just may not know about yet, but you will soon enough.
Yes, sir, indeed. I appreciate you having me on and spending the time to chat. I love what you're doing with this podcast, man. So kudos to you.
Appreciate you, man. Appreciate you. So definitely, I will take you up on that offer. I definitely will get out there once the schedule allows to the Ron Clark Academy to take a tour.
And listen, we have a 2-story blue slide in the middle of our school. And when you come, it's a tradition. You got to get slide certified. So we're going to shoot you down the slide, and you get a sticker and everything. So look forward to that.
All right. I'm definitely game for that. I love it. That's what's up, man. That's what's up. So, man, last bit of advice that you can give to someone listening who's like, man, I really haven't found my dream job yet. I may have graduated from school a year ago, 5 years ago. I'm still turning my wheels, things like that. What advice can you give them from your standpoint and from your experience?
Yeah, I would say definitely be persistent and wake up every day with a goal in mind to be better at whatever your passion is. And so if it's if it's media, for example, are you researching the best media personalities and taking tips and notes on how they execute on their job and how they are being the best person that they can in their profession? How are you taking notes and applying that to your life? And so I think if you are getting up with those goals to be persistent and to be intentional about perfecting your craft, then your opportunities will come. People will see your passion and your talent that you put into work, and all that will shine through. So persistence, intentional, consistent, and everything will work out. But definitely whatever you do, I would say don't take a job just for the money, because you will hate your life. A lot of times will go into jobs because, this is paying this, or they think this looks good for other people. No, you're not going to live a fulfilled life at all. Do what you are passionate about, and everything else will fall into place.
There you go. You heard it from the man himself. Listen, I definitely appreciate you taking your time out of your busy schedule to speak with us. More success to you in your endeavors, as well as the Ron Clark Academy. Keep doing what you guys do. Keep inspiring. And I'm so glad to see that passion when you talk and how you approach your career and how you influence others as well.
Appreciate you, man. Absolutely.
So, ladies and gentlemen, that has been another edition of Famously Unfamous. I am that man Channing, and for my guest, Mr. Kirk Brown, we will see you guys later. Peace, love, and blessings. Till the next time.